Welcome everybody to the Band Podcast. My name is Gray.
And my name is Blue.
And we are blluist. Hey, what's up? That's on me too.
Daniel's here too.
Welcome everybody. This is what? Band Podcast episode 22, I think, maybe?
Maybe, something like that.
So 22 episodes. Welcome everybody. So
welcome.
The Band Podcast, for people that don't know, is a podcast where month to month we just kind of talk about things that we thought about streaming, some games that we played, other stuff, content that we did, and we just kind of go over it, how we thought, stuff that we don't normally go over on stream. We also take questions from subs and what they were up to. So we did quite a lot of things actually. This is probably going to be a July and August roundup. We did a lot of games.
We did a lot of different types of games too.
Yeah, because last time we took a podcast, that was that was right at the 2-year mark, right?
And that's when we talked about the Bloodborne stream and whatnot. So
yeah. This time we got some really cool questions from the subs. So I'm also excited to talk about that. But before all that, what was the last 2 months like for us?
I mean, like game-wise, we got through Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy 9, Ghost of Tsushima. You had Lockdown.
Yeah, that was sick.
I started my first FPS.
Nice. That's right.
And then we finished Walking Dead. So
that was today.
Yeah. So we got through we did some retro games. We did some RPG. Yes, story games. We did a good. Oh, and of course, To the Moon as well. A lot of a good mix-up of things. A lot of games that made us cry.
That's true. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Is there anything that sticks out to you?
For me, I think I know you always mentioned like Cuphead was the one game that made like you had a lot of good time streaming and whatnot.
It was a big discovery for me.
Yeah. And for me, I think The Last of Us 2 was that discovery. Because I mean, other than the fact that we enjoyed the game, obviously, but I think it was like one of the only games that so far brought a lot of conversation about, I guess, or like people talked about it while we were playing and when we weren't even playing it. And so it brought a lot of conversation. And so there was a lot of like discussions between community members and whatnot during gameplay. And I thought that was a really cool thing, that everyone had polarizing, views on things or like theories on like, oh, who is this person kind of thing. And so it was just really, really fun playing through it with everyone. Like, it made me realize, like, I'm so glad I'm streaming this game.
Whether or not you like the game or not, well, I really, really like the game. But even if you don't like it, I think it was a really good game.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the best games as a streamer to be able to share that experience, have everybody talking about it. And for the most part, it was civil. It was really, really cool to just see. And everyone was so respectful of, like, okay, let's talk about this. But let's not talk about this other thing because they haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah, everyone was very careful about spoilers and whatnot, and we really appreciated that. So. And
there was just this flood of comments that comes out as soon as something happens. Like, I was waiting to talk about it, and which was really, really cool. So I think, Last of Us definitely stuck with me. Again, despite if you liked it or not, I think that's...
I just really enjoyed that game, yeah.
The fact that it had such strong opinions on both ends made it such a cool game to stream for us to actually experience that.
Yeah.
And, people wanted to hear what we thought about and stuff, but to me, that's like irrelevant. It's just like that the fact that we got all those people there to experience it with different opinions was probably the best thing. So, yeah,
for sure.
We played we played Final Fantasy 9, which is great. We're making that was kind of cool because that kind of started making us think about, let's make highlight videos again, and that Final Fantasy 9 was always a special game to me growing up, and it was cool that I got to share it with you, starting with Chrono Trigger with the classic games, and then I thought Final Fantasy 9 it just makes sense for the next.
One thing that was I was really thankful with Final Fantasy 9 is, as everyone knows, we had a lot of technical difficulties with that game, and we figured out that it wasn't actually the game itself that was causing the issue. It was the encoder that it was an issue with software and whatnot, where we would have to wait for the update. So we didn't actually have to delete or uninstall anything, and so we didn't have to lose our save file, but we lost it anyway.
Okay.
But
yeah, go ahead.
The thing that I was really glad that we did was like, because I remember when we lost our save file, I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this again. And I thought maybe it's not the right time to play. But I knew that if we didn't continue then, we probably would have just given up on 9, right? But you were like, oh, let's just do it again.
Oh yeah.
And that, I think, which I'm guessing that's what you just decided to do, because you thought probably the same thing, where if you didn't do it again right now or right at that moment, we would have probably dropped it, right?
And I think for people that don't know, that didn't watch that playthrough, you can go watch all the highlights and stuff on, and we talk about that, and I put those clips in on YouTube channel. But pretty much we played 16 hours of that game, and then our computers and everything just kind of bugged out, and then we freaked out, and we thought, clean install, and then we didn't have a cloud save anywhere, so we lost 16 hours of gameplay. We made it back in 2 streams. We did an off stream of Final Fantasy 9 just to kind of catch up, but we decided to just start, instead of just throwing the game, to just start from the beginning. And I wanted to ask you how you felt, because for me, like you said, on that spot, I said, let's just do it, right? I just said, let's just go for it, because it would be so much funnier, and it would be so much the ending of that game, because I know how the game ends. And I had this feeling from the 16 hours that we already played was gonna be this ending that you were really gonna enjoy. And of course we had problems with the ending too, but which I didn't see coming. I think to make that more epic, and this is here's the thing: if we weren't streaming it, I would have dropped it immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is so interesting, because that really put it into perspective. Whoa, playing a game on stream, and for me, playing games mostly now, 90%, I'm always thinking of, can this be an experience that we can talk about later? Or can this be an experience that can only happen on stream, or something that will motivate me to do something that I would never normally do, but I would do on stream? And for this moment, it was, let's just start from the beginning. If anything, if we just do the rest on our off day or something like that, we could probably catch up, right? Because we already played up until that point. But if we can stream the whole thing, that's a better journey for everybody. For people that don't like the game, or they're not going to watch it, and that's unfortunate. But for the people that really like that game, I think it was just something that was just going to make the stream that much better. So I thought, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. And then
I did not want to continue at that point.
You didn't really want
to? I was so bummed. I was like, yeah. But of course, but I think it helped that you were like, no, let's just go. But yeah, I was ready to just abandon it, because it just especially since I was the one controlling the actual controller, just thinking of what all I had to do to catch up was just so daunting. It's like, I don't know if I want to do all that again, kind of thing. So
when I said let's go and let's do it, when we started it, I didn't think we were gonna actually. I'll be honest, I didn't think that we were actually gonna go through with it.
Yeah.
I just thought, it's a funny meme, we got to start all over again, haha, and then maybe we'll cut it, and then I'll have motivation tomorrow because we had an off day or whatever, to just do it again. But at that moment, I didn't think. I thought we were just gonna drop this whole idea, and I think we would have if this happened to us a year ago. If this happened to us a year ago, we would have dropped it immediately and just forgot about it.
Yeah.
But and then now that we've gone past that, I think everybody agrees, or at least you and me agree, that it was 100% worth it, because the moments that happened in the replay that didn't happen in the first play.
We had some good replays of the Beatrix scene and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was probably the best fight in the game for me, experience-wise.
Yeah, so I am glad that we finished it. And then the fact that we couldn't see the ending cutscene was also a bummer. But it was the whole game. Oh my god, it was just. I loved it, but God, I don't. It's gonna take me a bit until I can play it again.
You want it? A smoother gameplay is always cool. Experience-wise,
gameplay would be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice if I don't have to look up the ending on YouTube.
To me, that was just the most revealing moment for me. Was this realization that, I would never do this if this wasn't on stream. Just like with any horror game, I would never play a horror game
on stream or off
stream, because I don't enjoy that when I like watching people do it. So that's why I know that it's better, and it's really fun to stream it. I love to stream it, but it's not something that I get. That's not something fun for me if it wasn't for stream. which is a really cool realization that playing games for me now means something completely different. And I always say that, but it's really hard to feel that. And then this Final Fantasy 9 moment was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for, let's do it for the content. Let's do it for something that's like, that's such a blluist thing.
Yeah, it is.
And I had to keep that in the highlights. And that was the reason why, because all those things happened, I realized I need to make this a highlight or something that we can all remember it. And it won't just go away after 2 weeks, because we can only keep 2 weeks of VODs, right? So, yeah. What else did we do? We did Final Fantasy 9.
Other than that, I mean, one other big thing was like, I just realized this.
Okay.
But for Ghost of Tsushima, I think that's the first game in a while. I mean, last time you actually played a game, like physically played a game on stream, was probably Cuphead.
Full playthrough, yeah.
I mean, we played a little bit of Neo 2 together.
Yeah.
But it ended up being me that mostly played.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I think Ghost of Tsushima was actually one where we did 50-50. Like, you played the game as much as I did.
Yeah.
How was that? Because I think for a really long time, you were very hesitant about playing games on stream. Because I remember you would tell me, like, I don't know if that's kind of my thing. Like, I just enjoy talking to chat and hanging out with them. So I don't know if I'm interested in playing all that much, kind of thing. So, but I felt like you were pretty eager in playing Tsushima and you were enjoying it. But how was that?
I think we talked about it way before, but with the dynamic that we have, I used to think that me playing the game kind of takes away from what play. With the whole atmosphere, but as you know, we talk about it a lot. I definitely had a change in thought about that kind of stuff, and Cuphead was the one where I was like, okay, let's go, where I go full on. We played like Don't Starve together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think that was like a moment, that Cuphead stream and like things that we talked about before, and then going in for Tsushima was just a game that I was just so interested in that I couldn't hold it back, and I thought I really, really want to play this game. Plus, now that I'm playing it on stream, I have to think about what I say. I gotta think about what I do.
You have to leave chat up to me sometimes,
which is really cool because they get to have that opportunity while I play, when I'm focused and stuff. But I think also this kind of goes with the whole Last of Us. You played The Last of Us too, but we really kind of honed down on this thing, like, okay, it's a story game. From now on, when we do story games, let's focus on the story and not, just like irrelevant stuff that might be happening, which I actually had a change of thought after that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
About, and because it kind of creates this idea that, I can't talk about I don't want people to think I can't talk about things. I don't want to bother them. No, this is a communal experience. You can talk about anything you want. But when we're in the meat of the story, we'll read it, but we might not talk about it on stream. But you can say anything. It's not bothering for any streamer out there, any chat.
Yeah, please talk.
To have chat is the best thing, and it's completely objectively wrong in our eyes, and we didn't communicate enough. If this is the case, that if people think, I shouldn't say anything because it's bothering, and maybe it's like, I got spaghetti on my shirt, and I want to say that, and if we're stopping you from saying that, that's bad. You can say whatever you want, and it's okay. We're not ignoring things in chat because we don't want that there. We're just saying, that's just not it's fine. You can say anything you want. We might not pick it up, but it's completely fine. You're completely encouraged to say encouraged. You are encouraged. Now, it's not okay. It's encouraged to say whatever the hell you want, and it's fine.
It's just more like, I think it's just more about our mindset. We just didn't think that everyone would be so considerate to the point where they would stop chatting because they didn't want to bother us when we were focused on the game. But I think
we're saying this because people have told us.
Yeah, this is what people have told us, and we realized that that's not what we were trying to get at. Yeah. We want that kind of chatter. We like the fact that people share things with us, even though we are into like a story game or whatnot. Yeah. And I do like people coming in and being like, I ate something today and it was really good, or like I tried this today, or I tried a new hobby. Like, it's totally fine. I want to talk about it. I want to know. Like, we want to know things that's going on with your guys' lives, and if there's something you want to talk about, I think that's totally fine to put up in chat, because there's times when someone mentions something and then community members talk to each other as well. So
And that's fine. Like, it could be a place where you guys don't have to be talking to us. We'll read it, we'll see it, but it doesn't mean that, you know, us not responding doesn't mean that we're rejecting it. Or like if some I also think that when you play a game, right, for us, this might not go for everyone, to make fun of the people that are playing that they're bad is also 100% okay. And I think and that's like, that's a hard, there's a hard way to say kind of word that, because I'm not saying be toxic, but I'm saying, you know, if you want to make fun, we're all friends, it's fine. If we don't pick it up, it doesn't mean that we're offended. And this is really important. The reason why we don't pick up certain comments, right, even if it is about the game, like maybe if it is about something that, you know, made fun like that, is that we don't have the ability, and we don't have, for me, in that moment, I don't have an ability or a joke that can make it a better situation for a stream. It has nothing to do with, because like I said, say whatever you want. You know what? Even if it's a little over the line, just doesn't matter. Like, this is, you're free to say what you want. And that's why we kind of like, even with a troll or something, we'll try to like do something. We'll try to make something out of it. And, you know, unless it just gets completely out of hand and we have to ban them. But I think just because when we don't react with words or something, reaction, it doesn't mean that we're like, oh, you're mad, you shouldn't say that. It's not like that. I think it's more of we just don't have the ability to, or a comeback or something to make it even more fun. Because a lot of the times they're just the people that are saying stuff like that are saying it to make the stream more fun, or it's not from a malicious place, and of course we know that. So I think it's completely fine. It's fun. Let's just have fun. But it doesn't mean, if I don't respond to something, it doesn't mean like I'm rejecting. It's just can't think of anything. All right, next. But
there's times when I catch myself. It's like when we're playing like a story game, and maybe there is a part I'm focused on, and I would see like reaction comments. Like someone would say like, I don't know, I mean, Pog is one, but like it's just a comment about like just something that they notice in the game kind of thing. Sometimes I won't pick it up because, one, maybe I'm watching a cutscene or something, or two, it's a reactionary message, so there's nothing for me to react to because they're just reacting to the game. So just me reading it out, I feel like since I can't respond to it because there's nothing to respond about, I just let it. I see it, but I don't read it out.
Yeah.
So I think I've gone, especially with like things like when I was playing Doom, for example. It's a really high-paced game. I can't really just sit and like, you know, chat or read everyone's chat and then play the game, read everyone's chat and play the game kind of thing. So I actually have to be very like picky with which ones I read. And so I actually ended up reading a lot of ones that I could respond to, but I couldn't. I read them in my head, but I couldn't read aloud like a lot of just reactionary messages or messages I couldn't respond to or I didn't have a respond to. And I hope nobody took it as like, oh, she didn't read it, or she's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that kind of thing. It's just more like I just have such limited time of when I can pick up chat. I usually just picked up the ones that I could actually, you know, I had a response to, or if it was a question or whatnot, because I didn't want to just sit there every 5 minutes and, you know, stop the game and then talk and then play and then stop and then talk. And it's like, I felt like it was really disruptive, I guess, in
the rhythm of the game.
Yeah, right? Rhythm, and just, you guys are there to watch the game and like hang out and whatnot. And I didn't think you guys wanted to see me take a couple steps and then stop and then.
But that's the thing. So, like, I think that the thing is that some people are not there to watch the game, which is fine. Yeah. And then there to hang out and stuff like that. So when their comments don't get read, it's kind of like, oh, they, you know, maybe I'll go somewhere else, or, you know, stuff like that, which is hard because I think now that we've done this for 3 years, or going on to our third year, I think another skill we need to work on, and we talk about it, so it's something that we are working on, is not reading every single comment.
Yeah.
And I think in a good way, in a positive way, where people don't go, oh man, you know, like, and the best way is if they say something and somebody else reacts to that and then they talk about it. And but it's completely fine. Like, I'm gonna say this 100 times. It's completely fine to talk about the most random shit in chat. When somebody says something that's like completely out there, just maybe like a 1-sentence thing, okay, when I say I don't care, I don't mean that in a bad way, but like I don't mind. Go ahead. This is a free place.
Yeah.
Like this is the internet. Like it's fine. Like it's
like we want it to be almost like an online, like a different Discord.
It's
where
yeah,
it's,
like
you guys can just come out and just come and like hang out with each other, not
Yeah.
just us.
this
It's
kind
like
of,
a big round. It's a big lunch table, right? Where you guys can talk to other people, not just us. It's not. We're on. I mean, technically, we are on your screen, but we want it to be more like we're all hanging out in the living room, and so you guys can talk to each other as well, not just us. Kind of.
there's I think this really goes hand in hand with the most interesting question that we got this month about the parasocial relationship. Because Twitch, and well, I guess I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much you guys can say whatever you want, man. Like if we don't ban you guys, you know that.
Yeah.
Unless it's me by accident. I don't. We're not.
Or me.
Yeah. We don't really. To us, Twitch chat is a place where it's a test if we need to, because we don't really have our mods in chat are very busy people, and from starting off we never really thought that a channel, especially of our size, doesn't need moderation that much, and so and I still believe that. So if we can't mod it ourselves, because we have two people, most streamers are by themselves, I think it's extremely hard, but we have two people. If we can't figure, like, it's pretty much like one person takes the mod job already.
Yeah.
So if need be. So I think we want to take it, like it's fine. Like I don't, people that have been in our chat probably understand. Like you can say a lot of things and we'll just be like, if it's something really bad, we might call you out on it, but we won't ban you or time you out. Like I don't think that's happened. Like
ultimately, we don't want a lot of rules in our chat, because I think, especially since we want our chat to be very like a free space. You guys can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
Of course, like if you say something that's against TOS, or that's like something that's discriminatory or
like the channel.
racist, or like, of course, like morally wrong things, that of course we are gonna have to call you out or time you out or whatever necessary. But like,
we don't have to talk. Yeah, we don't even have to mention that. Like, it's a culture, right? So it's not like we don't want to. Yeah, like we don't have to say that. Like you guys all know that.
Yeah.
Like that's the size we're
you
at.
guys know
so
what's
like,
right and wrong and whatnot,
Yeah.
and so we just want chat to just be a free space.
Yeah, we might come in and be like, you guys are getting a little too heated. Let's calm down or something like that. But it's not. Or like if we have an opinion about something, we might say that. It might sound a little bit stronger than just a normal like just chat and conversation. But that's fine. Like I don't think. And I always tell Blue, like, don't. We don't need heavy moderation. Like these guys, we can trust these guys. And if anything bad happens, we can probably trust these guys to shoot bad people out. And it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen, it doesn't succeed every single time. And we do have to kind of put in moderation, or like if someone goes way overboard, then we have to, but that's like, again,
we want it to be a
we all know
communal
that,
space, not not a classroom.
We all know which dudes we gotta kick out. Like we know that. So it's I think it's really hard because people think of this Twitch idea. It's really interesting to me. This is a different another conversation I wanted to bring, and I have so many things that I want to talk about. But I'll try and be more really concise about it. But Twitch is supposed to be this thing streaming is supposed to be this thing where people enjoy, at least for me, not the professionalism of it, but the relatability. It's like the because I don't watch esports people. That's not the kind of content I look for on Twitch. It's the people that I can relate to. It's the people that I can converse with, the everyday. In another way, that means that they're imperfect, and I think imperfections is what makes a streamer good. And I think it's that versus this weird, because you have to be so hungry and it's so limited the way that you can grow on this platform, that sometimes people think, and I think actually a lot of people think, that there's this level of professionalism that makes a streamer better. And I kind of disagree with that. And that might be a kind of controversial thing, but I don't think it's the professionalism that brings a stream good content. I don't think that's it. I think what professionalism and like being on time and like doing this, that, like on this time we play this, which is fine if you can do it. It's like, but there's some people that can't do that. That's a way of doing it, and I think it means that you're a more organized human being, and maybe that's just how you did your business. and that's fine, but
Yeah.
that doesn't dictate if the content is good. You could be 30 minutes late to a stream and still bang out a sick stream, right? And people might give you shit for it, which is part of the fun, because you
Yeah.
shit on your friends when they're late to hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. And I don't think it should be like, no, blah, 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 like, you don't understand. Like, you don't do that with your friends. Like, if you're late, just like, you've been hanging out with your friends, right? And you go a little late. They don't go, man, that's so unprofessional of you, And of course, there's a side of making money, and that's why this is different than hanging out with your friends. But I think and you shouldn't try to be late. Is not what I'm saying. I'm saying sometimes it happens. We're late to stream all the time, but and we feel bad about that. But I still think that good content isn't dictated by not 100%. Of course, there's got to be a level of some sort of rules or some sort of structure, but to reassure the people that are watching you can get what they want at a certain time, and we're not gonna just do something completely different or something like that. But sometimes I do feel that what I read and what I see online and these tips that people give out is not really. If somebody perfected that wouldn't be a stream that I would want to. That itself, that only is not what would make me want to watch that stream. It could be, but I don't think that's the core. Is my feeling, and I know I completely derailed. That just going from the whole heavy moderation. Sometimes you can break the rules. We're human, which means if people are giving that doubt, benefit of the doubt to the people watching or the stream, gotta be reciprocal, right?
Yeah.
Like we have to reciprocate that. So I think it's fine. Like we might do a little something out, that's kind of stupid, maybe like out of hand. You guys might raise your eyebrow sometimes.
You guys might call us out sometimes,
and then we can call you guys out. I think, but it doesn't mean that you can never come here again and hang out. Like it's not like that.
Yeah, like we're not. I mean, I joke about being an overlord and whatnot, and you guys are my pawns and whatnot, but I don't actually think that. Like, we're not overlords. We're
okay, Blue.
We're all friends.
Blue, stop lying. Okay. Okay. This is the band podcast.
This is why I like being the game master and werewolf, because I get to be who I want to be and control you all. But my point is like we're not on some higher pedestal just because we're on screen, is what I want to say, I guess. Like, I don't want you guys to be on walking on eggshells because you think you're gonna get banned for what you're gonna say, or we'll take offense, or take offense to something you might, maybe you thought like a joke was way out of hand or something, but. And I mean, I have gotten messages of from people saying I'm so sorry if I joked that was way out of line, and it's most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's no, you guys are totally fine. I thought that shit was funny. So I think it is I think there is some sort of wall between people still, which I think that is, I guess, it's inevitable because we are on a screen, we are on your TV, on your monitor. So I think that is inevitable until we get comfortable, I guess more comfortable with each other. But
and this, before we go on to the next topic, I know we talked about this a lot, sorry that I derailed a lot, but we give the benefit of the doubt to the viewers, right? Of course, they give benefit of the doubt to the streamers, and I know that we feel that more than anybody because we know we're not perfect and we mess up. Important one, the viewers give viewers the benefit of the doubt. Is another really important one that seems to be overseen a lot, because people can get kind of they'll start fighting, and then all of a sudden all this all the kindness that we know people have that they give us, that we give back, sometimes they don't share it together, and it's within the viewers, and I think that is what creates is if you guys can give the benefit of the doubt, talk it out, as much as you guys give, because the kindness that you give to us, if you guys, and not just the support or whatnot. I'm not saying the type of support is different, but to create a better space, I think that's just something to keep in mind. It's not the most important, but I think it's because it's too hard. You know, that's our job to make sure that, you know, we try and connect with as many people that watch us. That's not the people that are coming to the streams should just have a laid back time, don't even think about anything, say whatever they want. If they're drunk, they say something stupid, might call you out, whatever. Let's have a good time. But sometimes I think there's that moment too where like people need to give the benefit of the doubt to each other.
Because like I said, we're all on the same side.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all part of this community for a reason.
But we can't force that on anybody.
Of course,
So I was just saying, like,
there is going to be clashing of personalities and whatnot. But I think if there is if maybe there is a disagreement, maybe it's just like lack of communication, or maybe it was just
and 99% of the time, perfect, no problem at all. I'm just saying that it's just something that should be said in case something like that happens. Like maybe they'll like cross your mind, like, oh yeah. But most of the time, like, no problem. I think people should come with no responsibility to the stream, honestly. like I don't care, right? If you have a bad day at work, come and get out the blue stream and say whatever the shit you want, and then, you know, might not read everything, but go ahead. Yeah. People might react to it, they might not. It's fine. We're all human, right? So, sorry, that was way long for that. Well, I don't even know what we were even talking about, but
no, I don't remember either.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about
Last of Us, people having different opinions, and then, you know,
yeah.
Sorry, so what's next? What
we could go to questions already, or we could, if you want to talk about lockdown, because I wasn't.
Weren't we talking about how Ghost of Tsushima was?
What we were talking about, yeah.
And like completely derailed somehow?
Yeah. I tend to do that a lot.
Yeah,
so
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
That's really unorganized of me. Sorry, I'm gonna. So me being able to play Ghost of Tsushima was a really great experience. I thought I learned a lot from the way to stream, or my style of it. I want to do it again for sure. I had a really, really good time streaming, and I think now that we have the 2 PC set up, I know we got the 2 PCs. We don't stream many, dual screen stuff, but there's just other things that we want to do right now, and right now I think that we're still like test driving stuff. Don't Starve Together worked out great a little bit, but there were other problems that were created through that, so we need to work it out.
We need to figure out like what co-op games are good
and
which ones are the best to play together or stream together, I guess, because not every game is good for streaming. I mean, for us. So we kind of have to figure out what would be something we would enjoy and that we can actually make like really good content out of. So that's something we have to discuss.
We have a sick like dual screen overlay that we like worked on, and we barely get to use it.
Barely get to use it, but one other thing is, since we do have 2 screens, it doesn't have to be a co-op game either, right? We can, especially with like community games, now we can have your screen up too. Because before it used to be just one of our screens, and you'd just be in the distance somewhere. Yeah. So there is that. I mean, there is more. There's more options of, I guess. Ever wanna do like a impromptu stream? You can always stream from your computer now as well. Cool, yeah. So that's something that's possible. Because before, since I only had the PC, it was more like you didn't want to bother me, because if you started streaming on my PC, I don't have a computer. Because you had a laptop, but I didn't. And so it was a situation where it's like, well, feel bad if I took your computer, because then what are you going to do? Kind of thing. But now we don't have to worry about that. We can do our own thing.
That's right. So. Actually, really true. You want to go to questions then?
Yeah, I'm just saying, but if you want to do Jump King again.
I did do Jump King when I got home. I don't know why.
Yeah, you did. I don't know why.
But I just felt like I wanted to play more Jump King, so I played.
You came home, booted up Jump King, played a little bit.
Yeah, I slept and then I booted it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I did this for 13 hours. I'm good. And I just stopped playing after a bit. I think I played for like 30 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I watched you play, and it's like, why? And you already finished it. You played it for 13 hours. Why the fuck are you playing this again?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to play it again. Because there were some parts that I didn't get to play.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play it again. I couldn't even get there, though. I couldn't even get there, and the cages got me again. And I was like, oh, man. It's hard. The Punisher is really something. Oh, the lockdown. Yeah, I did the lockdown. Yeah. It was...
You didn't get to use your sleeping bag. Like, we got... You brought you brought like a huge ass bag, because we were preparing for 1 or 2 overnight stays, right? Yeah. And so we had this huge like bag that you get from like shopping like stores and stuff, and we had like a blanket, a pillow, and a sleeping bag in there, and he brought all that, and then he brought like toothpaste or a toothbrush kit, undies, socks. Like you brought like the whole like sleepover kit.
We had a rehearsal the day before, and I brought my sleeping bag. I didn't know why the sleeping bag was at my place, because I never bought a sleeping bag. And then after I brought it, it was the thickness of probably a tissue paper, and it was the thinnest thing I've ever seen. And then I was like, I was thinking, like, where did I even get this? And then on the sleeping bag, there's a tag, and it had my brother's name on it, and it hit me at that moment that this is the sleeping bag that my brother used to use when he was in high school, 30 years ago. And I was like, that's
Maybe
right.
That's why.
I used to live in my brother's apartment when I was living before here.
Yeah.
He must have just had it there for like whatever occasion, and I was using this like 30-something-year-old sleeping bag, and I was just, of course, it's like this.
Yeah, it's like
it's like a historical artifact at this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Blue, I can't do this. Like, I can't have Ken sleep on this thing. Like, if he goes to sleep first, I can't. This is terrible. So I went to a store right after rehearsal, and I actually bought another sleeping bag, and I brought it. We didn't use it. Like,
I think Ken brought like a big fluffy blanket and everything too, right?
He brought a blanket. I brought a pillow, and we both brought pillows because we don't want to be sleeping on the same pillow. But and I brought the sleeping bag. What else did I bring? The mic arm that broke immediately after we started.
So we got him a new mic arm. Yeah, it's a lot nicer.
Yeah, I'm so glad we got this. But just a lot of equipment, and I just
remember packing like earplugs, body wipes, condoms.
Yep. And then I went to the supermarket with Ken before the event to just kind of like get all the stuff, and we're like, oh, what are we gonna need? It's like coffee, like all this stuff, like should we get the energy jellies? And I was like, nah, man, energy jellies are a trap, don't get that. So we got these like nutrition bars, and then I ended up not eating anything.
Oh yeah, the kebab just sat there in that bag
that
on the
kebab
couch.
Was gross.
And
when I got home.
Yeah, and then in VC, all of us are talking about how we're like, it's like when is Gray gonna eat? Like, is he gonna eat? And so we started spamming the chat and typing out like, Gray, you need to eat.
Yeah,
like, just sitting there, eat.
And disclaimers: I'm not saying that the kebab was gross. Bobby, you're the man. Thank you so much for getting that. And West, I just let it sit there for like 10 hours, and I got home and like all the grease of the kebab. The kebab was good, but I ruined it because I didn't eat it. Because I came back and I tried to eat it. I finished it, but I just felt bad. Like this would have been a very tasty kebab if it wasn't for leaving it on the table the whole time. But yeah, I just couldn't. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't tired.
You were running on adrenaline at that point, and basically.
I wasn't even thirsty. I was just drinking because that's just what I do on stream, like all the time when my mouth gets lonely.
Yeah.
Right? Oral fixation. Yeah. So, and I couldn't smoke. I couldn't go for an e-cig break because I just smoke at the desk, right? I have to actually go outside to go smoke cigs. So, I think I was drinking even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, the event itself just went so smoothly. It was going terribly right before we hit that live button because Ken got locked out of his Steam account. And he was like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And then I was like, and then I tested Jump King for about 15 minutes that morning. So I already had Jump King downloaded onto my Steam.
You bought Jump King, you mean? Because you had to download it onto the other computer.
Right. Because I have a new computer, my own computer.
Yeah.
So it was just this super lucky thing. I was like, wait, yeah, I have it. Yeah. So then I went in. It was already installed because we've been already testing on his Steam, and then so we got it all ready to go. But like it was really like 5 minutes before we hit that live button, we were just like, we can't play the game. How do we do this? And I was like, oh wait, yeah, I have it on my Steam. So then that worked out. We had some audio issues. You helped us out the night before.
Yeah, I was basically in VC chat with you guys doing
for like
sound
an
tests and
hour.
everything. Yeah.
Because the rig is so next level, it's so hard. It's not like our rig at home, so I can't really help. So I'm just sitting there doing the sound test and everything, but
Like
you
check. Hey guys, this is Gray.
yeah, and
Just
then
repeated that forever.
on a test account, and then Blue would be in chat being like, can't hear you. Can hear the game now, but I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear you guys, but where's the music? And it was just that. That was fun doing that the night before, just because I just wanted. I was so nervous.
You were nervous
was
like the night before
so
too.
nervous. Glad I didn't actually ask some questions about that, and I'll answer that. But I was the night before. What was like?
Yeah.
I was having like an anxiety episode because I just didn't. It was just something that I've never done a stream with somebody else before. I've brought people on our stream.
You were worried about like chemistry and how
I've never streamed with Ken before.
Yeah, or how it would be to stream with someone that you've never streamed before for more than like 4 hours.
Yeah, and plus I knew that during the sound check, there was this obvious like switch on moment for Ken, and I thought, yeah, me and him chemistry is, and it made me realize if I'm hanging out with him, I've hung out with Ken many times, love the dude, chemistry's great. What happens if that changes as soon as that go live goes on, and it's this persona, not because he makes a character on stream, not because of that, but just because when you have the camera on you and you have all these eyes on you, there's that moment where you change.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as your tone goes up a little bit, or you start projecting a little bit more, or something like that. But I wasn't sure what to expect because I've never streamed someone, and not only that, this was going to be a super long stream. So I didn't know how we were going to be at the 5-hour mark, the 6-hour mark, and then after that, what I'm not used to, 8 hours, 9 hours, and so there was just all this kind of, and I have this thing where I just think of like the worst situations, or like what happens if we like fight or something, and then so that I'd like text them. I was like, all right, Ken, I'm super ready. Most important thing, our chemistry. Like I like made that sure. Like let's, I'm really really looking forward to this. Try to get as much positive energy, and then on the stream, I just try to be because I was a guest on a stream. I just try to be as positive as possible, and that actually came super naturally because I was just enjoying the stream so much. And as soon as I hit that live button, I wasn't nervous at all, and so it was amazing. So that was a really really good experience. Really really want to do it again. So yeah, that was.
So let's go into questions then.
All right, let's get.
Okay, so first question is from Fujan.
So Fujan actually had a couple questions.
Yeah, he has a few.
We can pick out some of those.
All right. So I can just. So first question is from Fujan, and it's, what led to you choosing Twitch as your streaming platform instead of YouTube or Mixer or other options?
Blue, you want to take that one?
Honestly, it was only because I think I watched my brother stream on Twitch before. And to me, I thought like if I wanted to stream games, Twitch was what it was known for. So I just tried. There's no reason.
Yep, that was the only platform that
was it. Yeah.
That was just, you knew about it, hit that live button.
I didn't know Mixer existed. I know
I don't
Twitch.
I don't think
YouTube had YouTube Live at that point. So,
no, Mixer was there. Maybe?
I think it was there. Just we didn't. Yeah, and then YouTube didn't have any kind of live option at the time, and
I'm sure
it did.
I'm sure it had a live option.
Well, I didn't know about the live option. I didn't know they had the live option, so I thought YouTube was just videos. I was like, I don't want to edit videos, so yeah. And it was supposed to be temporary. It was just supposed to be me just trying something and then see if I like it or not. So there was no planning whatsoever, and that's why we have the name. That's why our username is blluist, and it's not some like thought up name that we decided together or anything like that. Like we went with blue and gray out of nowhere. Like if I knew this was gonna be like a major career, I might have chosen a different name. Yeah. But yeah.
Do you remember how we tried to get? Before this whole thing, you were thinking, because when you worked at the clothing store, and you wanted an Instagram account like that was just like separate from everything, and we were looking through the ideas, and blluist was one of them, and it was taken. It wasn't, and then we tried like every single possibility of like the BLLUIST, of course, BLUIST, BL, and then we went to like, but you were like, if we don't want to do like BLUUI, we want to do, so let's go to blluism or something like that, and then like we have this whole like idea. Then I remember blluist was one of those things that was one of those names that we wanted for your personal Instagram account.
I just had a whole list of things that I used the word blue and attached things to it.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you about like which one looks the best.
Yeah. And then we ended up not doing it because we were like, it's too much work. And then when Twitch came around, we were like, let's see if we can find that name again. One of those like stock names that we try to get for that Instagram account. And blluist is taken. BLUIST was taken. I'm like, about BLL, and then
it was there. So
that's kind of like
that's why I didn't think about like the double L, or if it was gonna be hard to say, or like I didn't think about any of that because it wasn't supposed to become this.
Which is kind of why I want to keep it. Like that's such a cool like random.
The thing is, I still think we should get rid of one of the L's because saying blluist with 2 L's is weird.
We can't. So. And then that's something that can be helped out after we get partnered, right? And then
I think so.
If we do get partnered, we can actually request if that account hasn't been active. So let's just hope that account is just something like a throwaway account that's never been used. Then we have to like redo everything, but that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll decide when the time comes.
Yeah.
So, knowing that Twitch isn't very well known in Japan, how did you first hear of it? Other than the COVID, what's going on in the news and politics in Japan?
Okay.
All right, so that's the same thing. Just like it's not very known in Japan, but I just know my brother used to stream on Twitch, and so that's why I knew about it. It wasn't through like Japanese friends or anything like that.
We can if I didn't see. I thought the questions were longer, but let's just shoot all these questions out because Fuchun's actually is always asking some really good questions.
Yeah, I like all these questions.
Yeah. So wait, politics and
other than COVID, what's going on in the news and politics in Japan?
I mean, right now, a lot of the stuff that's going on in Japan is, unfortunate, all about the COVID. And then a lot of the news here that we have some celebrities, gossip stuff. Actually, a famous celebrity actually took their life recently, mainly for a lot. What's a big thing in Japan right now is internet bullying for celebrities and like talking trash. And it's kind of this big talk right now that let's try to be nicer on the internet. Don't say such horrible, slander is a huge thing. Because some celebrities have taken their lives. Younger people there's that one person from Terrace House that took their life. There's also, the actor though, I don't know, because I think he had depression, and I don't know if it was caused because of the slander. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it or anything, but internet behavior is actually a really important topic right now. I know that's not like super politics, but big topic. And especially because people are staying home now, they're spending a lot more time online. And then there's this. Okay, this is COVID, but there's some dude out there that says that Corona's just
conspiracy theory.
It's a conspiracy theory, and he's a politician. He ran for governor of Tokyo, obviously lost. His poster said Corona is just a cold, and that was kind of a meme. But every week he goes to Shibuya and does this thing called Cluster Fest, where he has music festivals and tries to get all these people in one place and be like, yeah, Corona's not real, and don't wear a mask, blah blah blah. And his theory is that we do the PCR tests to test COVID, and they're saying that there's a virus in the med that you take when you take the PCR test, and it shows that as positive. So whatever they have in that med.
So if you get tested,
Corona.
they give it to you.
Yeah, so when you get tested, that's what gets you.
That's so dumb.
And that guy really makes me angry. And every time, because he comes up on the news all the time.
And like the whole cluster party fest or whatever, the thing is they do it in like the middle of like Shibuya, where there's a lot of people.
The station,
through.
Yeah.
There's
outside.
people who they plan to like just like go into some random train station at one time. And it's like, okay, if you want to do that kind of party, at least do that party where there's not a lot of traffic. Like that's up to you guys. If you guys want to risk your life doing that, that's fine. But don't plan it so you affect other people. That's such an asshole thing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Whether it be true or not, it's still like you don't want. It's just such a nuisance, I think.
Yeah.
To do that, and
It's so dumb.
He said like, "Oh, I've done it. We've been doing it in venues for months and months, and now we're taking it outside." It's like, why?
Don't take it outside.
Why?
Why?
And I know it's because he wants people to know about the movement, but it just doesn't come off good, you know. So
that's a little. This one's also related. But what about the Japanese political system? Do you like, and what do you want to see change?
I think what I want to see changed right now, especially for people in this situation, I think the payout for people that are having a hard time with businesses, the way they support businesses, is really questionable because they're spending a lot of government money into things that seem a little bit right now, like with the whole like setting up masks and stuff. And the reason why we can't do a second lockdown is because they're saying they can't pay for companies anymore that are are going to go into lockdown. You are able to get some money as a business, big or small, to get some money from the government, hard times. But they did a mini second lockdown, right? And what they gave like $2,000 or something.
Yeah, it's not much.
And it's like, okay, what business can run? An actual business can run. And it's not monthly. It's just $2,000. That's it.
Yeah.
And so, I think right now a lot of bigger businesses are, they're taking a hit, but depending on their business style, they're doing okay. But I think if we really, really want to see Japan go back on their feet, I think it's really important to support smaller businesses. I know it's hard, but I really want to see that changed. And when you see, taxes going to some, we never talk about any of this, but when you see your like taxes and stuff being used for something that's so useless, I do talk to Blue. I'm like, oh my god, this is what like the whole mask.
This is what we're paying for. Like, why are they sending us masks? Like that's the, like,
and it didn't
that's
even
the
go
one
out to
thing.
everybody.
Yeah, that's the one thing you shouldn't be worrying about. Because Japan, we already have masks. That's not gonna stop anything. That's not gonna do anything. Stop wasting our money on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But and then I think, and it's a lot of Corona stuff. I think a lot of people are mad about what's happening now. Are these numbers real or not? People, and another thing that they do, and this is like a media thing, and it makes me angry, is like they split the numbers of people that get infected with Corona with Tokyo, Kanagawa, which is Chiba, and all these things, right? And it's because the numbers in these specific areas are getting bigger, but it doesn't really it's kind of like changing the numbers. It's trying to show that they're not trying to what they're trying to do is
make it seem like it's not a big deal, even though that's all considered Tokyo.
People that work in this Kanagawa prefecture, like I think a lot of them work in Tokyo, vice versa. We hang out on the weekends. We'll be like, oh, let's go to Yokohama, which is a 30-minute train ride from Tokyo to central Tokyo, like Shibuya, to the Kanagawa prefecture. So a lot of it is the same, and they're using this tactic and same with Chiba, right? And we have viewers that we hung out in that watch us that live in Chiba, and we hang out in Tokyo. Like it's just that it's just that
close.
And so
it's really dumb.
People are just splitting the numbers now to make it look like it's not so bad in one prefecture, when if you just put them all together, which
it's bad.
And it's getting worse and worse, and it's just like, I don't know if this is fooling anybody, but come on, like this is what we're wasting our time on. Like, let's get to the point. Like, let's try to figure this out. This is a personal opinion. Whew. Yeah.
Next one is, do you think a single unified global government would be a good or bad thing? I think that'd be bad.
I don't think that would be good. Yeah,
that'd be bad.
There's so many things that prove that already, with just things that don't even matter in life, that we can't agree with anything. So impossible.
That'd be impossible. If you had a full cyberpunk technology at your disposal and could genetically engineer different animals or plants together, or give them cybernetics, what would you do?
I would combine.
I would give Anu full cybernetics for sure.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to give Anu cybernetics? What would Anu be able to do?
He'd live.
Can we get Anu to talk?
Maybe, yeah.
Understand?
He could talk, yeah. He could actually understand commands.
Or like I want to hear his opinion. I mean, they might be super degen.
I mean, it would just be begging for food. Probably.
That's bad.
We just listen to a lot of food.
That's
it's like
bad,
the seagulls
'cause
in Nemo, except it's food, not mine.
I just don't want Anu to where there's a point where I go, oh yeah, I can exploit these humans more than I already do. So
And then he doesn't have to feel like pain or anything.
yeah,
Or he doesn't have to get sick or anything.
this is not like cyberpunk or whatever, but what I realized, that video of that guy that got the Boston Mechanics the robot.
I think that the thing is,
You can buy
think
for like
it's
70.
Yeah.
It's like really expensive, like $70,000, right? So it's not like everyone can get one, but that was terrifying.
Because the thing is, I find it so cool.
There's
So that's
things that-
something that's very different about you and I.
There's
Because you
things-
think, the Boston, what was it? Cybernetic, the stuff,
robot,
all the robot, all the robot
Boston
stuff.
robot, yeah.
Yeah, I think you think it's like terrifying. Because I remember you used to show me a video, and it's like, look at this video. It's the scariest shit you'll ever see, and it's like, what? That's fucking cool.
It can be used for amazing things. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but the thing is, like, anything in the world can be used for bad things too.
I know, but it's just.
So.
I think it's kind of uncanny valley. You know that feeling where something is so real but it's not. It kind of creeps you out. It's when you knock that thing over and it comes back. It's just like, what happens if we just like, if it has like a knife or something, and then you just like push it, and then like it can open doors and stuff like that. And like,
yeah, but it's control. It's not like there's no AI. It's just controlled by your joystick. I mean, there is some AI, yeah, but
I mean, and of course, it's not something that people can. There's not everybody can.
afford one either, yeah.
And what it's going to be used for is going to be for amazing things.
Yeah,
and
because I think it'd
the
be really
possibility, you know how it can go to places that humans can't, and it can maneuver itself in a way that a normal robot can't. So there's going to be so much more discovery of things that humans, right, of our limitations.
I think it'd be really cool if those kind of like like robot dogs can be used to help like disabled people, or like it could replace guide dogs even. They could just get a companion dog and a little robot to help them, kind of thing.
Just get robots, like, honestly, at this point.
No, but you want some companionship, right?
Oh, like companion dogs? Not like,
companion like pets, and then but you'll have the robot to actually like take care of you and stuff.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah, it's just this moment where it's like these guys. Like, how long until these things become?
Well, you wouldn't enjoy a little robot walking around the house and bringing you drinks and shit? You never have to get up from the couch ever.
Sounds great, especially in this time. So I'm gonna start saving 70K right now.
You cannot work on yourself or anyone. Oh, alive and walking. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I would help on it. Maybe I would give him wings. I don't know.
Give him wings.
Yeah, so he can fly. And
He would
get to
just crash
places.
into the wall.
No.
Okay. And you could get into our kitchen. That's a terrible idea.
Okay,
that's a terrible
yeah, you're
idea.
Right, you're right. That's,
You have this little cage to get him out of there, right? Because he can't jump over it. If he can
that's true.
fly
That's
into the
true.
kitchen.
We'd have to get like a mosquito net.
Even more clumped up and hard to walk around the house.
Okay, what's a hobby or activity you want to try but haven't yet?
I'm actually thinking about this recently. It was like lakeside activities. I really like being on more than the beach.
What's that again?
Canoeing, more than being on the because I did it when I was in middle school for like a field trip, and I really enjoyed it. It was super fun. But I like it more than the beach, like the lakeside like activities, and like there a little bit, and then making food and stuff. Like so more lakeside activities, like the forest scenery too. So
I'm gonna go scuba diving.
you need a license to do that, right?
Yeah. Or snorkeling. But either, I really, like, that's on my bucket list.
There's a place where where we used to live nearby, where you can get a scuba license.
Oh, really?
Like they take you out, and then you can. Well, you gotta do this paper too. Apparently, it's not too hard, but yeah. But
Fun.
yeah. But you can go by yourself because I cannot do that.
Fun, you can go canoeing while I go scuba diving. And we'll meet back home later.
Are you gonna scuba dive on a lake?
No, you can canoe in the ocean with me.
That's called drowning. Canoe has to be on top of the water, not underneath.
Here's a question from Fire.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about parasocial relationships on Twitch, and how do you guys deal with these issues, or have you ever discussed them with each other?
All the time, yeah. So
let me read out. So parasocial relationship refers to a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their encounters with performers in the mass media, particularly on television. So viewers or listeners come to consider media personalities as friends despite having limited interactions with them. PSI is described as an illusionary experience, such that media audiences interact with personas, talk show hosts, celebrities, as if they're engaged in a reciprocal relationship with them.
So the thing is like this has happened before, way before streaming has, and then streaming just took it to a whole nother level. Because this is probably a bigger problem for people that have a way bigger, where it really becomes a parasocial relationship with everybody. But I think at our size, it's a lot less parasocial and actually just social, like that. Where there is a reciprocation, although it's not best friend. It's really important that distinction and distance that you because they are your friends at a certain point, but they're, because the internet there all the time, and especially if you have a place like Discord where you can still hang out offline, it's important for us to not overwhelm ourselves at a healthy relationship by making sure letting people know with our size community that we're there, like we'll be there for you guys, but it's not, we live on different time zones and stuff like that. I saw that video that Fire posted, and for the bigger streamers it seems like, I think it's more parasocial as really see, the streamer can't see everybody but I think we still see faces a lot, like as in like we know who comes.
We can associate each username with stories and who they are and whatnot.
Yeah. So. And if someone new comes in, we'll do our best to try and do that. That's something that you thought about before?
Yeah. There are times where it's like, well, especially as a woman on the internet, I've heard a lot of horror stories of people who would come and expect stuff because of what you do and whatnot, but I've never really experienced that at our size, thank goodness. Of course we get the occasional trolls, but those are trolls. It's not like we never had to deal with someone who would cross a line or who was just way into the creepy category or that, so I never really experienced it personally. But there were times when I was kind of scared to I would be anxious about streaming by myself, because I would think like, what if there like someone came in and I didn't know what to do and Grace's not here, kind of thing. But
problem arises with the parasocial relationships when expectations come in. For example, if I'm watching a TV show host, I have no expectation. Even if I'm like a big fan of that person, I have no expectation of what they're gonna do. Like I don't expect them to do something. Like maybe I'll be like, this isn't the content I was looking for, or something like that. But it doesn't turn into anger. It's just like, kind of thing. With a relationship that's so closely that I've seen with other streamers, not so much us, is that like, hey, everybody, recommend us something, and then if you don't do it, they get mad, or like some people are like, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you listen to me? That breaks, I think, a new line of that steps it in.
Yeah, because like, even if you're friends, you can't expect, like, if you, for example, like if you recommend a game to your friend, I think that your friend might not be into it. But I don't think you'd be mad if your friend decided not to play if it's not something they're interested in. because it's just you being a friend recommending someone to something to a friend.
That was just an example.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I see at our channel, but I've seen it before in other places where people are entitled to. People think that they if they said something. Here's the thing: people think that what they say has weight, and it's important that the streamer communicates that it does have weight. But it's also important to know that with that many things being said at them, everything can't have the same weight. So what a streamer tries to do is put zero weight. Their goal for a lot of times, because it's impossible to give everybody 100% weight, it's to give everybody zero. Everybody zero weight. And then at that point, whatever they want to do, it's all about communication. If they can, because you can communicate now. Parasocial relationships originally is this illusion that it was reciprocal, but now it actually is. You say something, we'll respond back, right? Again, that's because we have a small community where we can still be able to do that with a lot of people. Which makes it a social relationship. So, it's a really unique thing, and it's pretty hard to make sure that we're still answering but not obeying. Does that make sense? Like you're answering to these ideas and we respect them and we look into it, but us not doing something that's
I think the bottom line is that some people don't realize that the streamers are human too. They have their own opinions, they have their own dislikes and likes, and just because you said something doesn't mean that they're 100% gonna follow it, kind of thing. It's just like how you would, if someone recommended something to you, you're not gonna 100% obey, right? You have your own opinions, you have your own interests, and it's up to you whether you want to do something or not.
Yeah. So I think that's to me, and it's hard because then people can just be like, then don't even ask for it. But it's also just a part of conversation that just comes up, and if there's something good, you're just waiting for that one thing to click. But unless that one thing clicks, and it clicks on Tuesday, it might click on Wednesday or whatnot. It's just, we're all human. It doesn't click sometimes, and it's just like, yeah, maybe not. And the important thing, I think, as a content side, is to not lose that feeling that it's to do what you want, and it's not about. I think you go down a dark road when you try to please everybody. I think a very negative, unsuccessful, drains your mental health when you try to please everybody, and I think try to please yourself as much as possible. And people might be like, well, then people don't come, or people don't like that. And there were moments where we thought that too before, but if you can't like what
aren't gonna show up anyway. Yeah,
you gotta work on your own craft, or you gotta work on what makes your stream interesting, despite what other people like. And of course, there's gonna be things that most times people have that one game that really, really well in, and that lets them carry it over to other content. Maybe find them through one thing. They'll stick around if they play something else. But for us, we don't really have that. That's super, super strong as of now. So it lets us question. It doesn't boost us up, but it also doesn't kind of lets us stay level-headed and really, really lets us focus on what we want to do. And I think that's something that we've been trying to do this year. It's just what we want to do. Who cares if the game's not hot? Who cares if the game is not what everyone's talking about? Let's do what we want to do, in that, or else the content's going to be weird and it's going to be very forced.
Next question is from Olmat. Do you ever sit down and not want to press that go live button? What impacts that decision to stream or not to stream if you know from the beginning you're going to have an off day?
I think I mentioned it before, but this is one of the questions that I wanted to touch on, because I was about to start talking about it, but yeah.
Go ahead.
I talked a lot, so I keep doing that. I keep going off on my own tangent. I feel bad. So please.
I think people enjoy that. So. All right. So for me, yeah, there are times when I don't want to press that go live button. There are times when I used to have an issue where like I just didn't have any kind of game I wanted to stream. So I had a lot of difficulty with like, well, I mean, I'm not really interested in playing a game right now. So what's the point kind of thing? I did have those kind of days. There's been times where I was just I just had an off day or I had a low day and I just don't want to go live. There's been, and I guess that kind of depends. Like if I know that if I stream something, I'll enjoy it or I'll have a good time, then I'll go live. If it's like, if I know that even if I start streaming and I know that I'm not going to be able to lift up my mood, or if it's not going to like lift up my mood kind of thing, then I choose not to go live. Because there are times when I realized, like back when we first started streaming, was that it's very, like, Gray and I are both not actors. Like, we're really bad at hiding things. Mm-hmm. So I think it's very obvious when one of us is cranky or when one of us is really not into it. So I think we've gotten a lot better at like looking at stream differently to the point where we have less off days. But I mean, of course, there are times when we just have to cancel just because it's going to be very obvious that one of us is just having a really off day. And when one of us has an off day, it's really hard to make the other person bring you up kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like you have to solely depend on the other person to pull you, like pull your weight. And that's, I mean, you're already expecting a lot for the other person to do that. And it's also really, really difficult to try to lift that other person up. So I think in that sense, like if it's going to be a really bad stream, I think it's better not to stream than stream. Like, of course, like streaming it's necessary. It's necessary to be on schedule. But if you know it's going to be shitty, then don't waste anybody's time streaming a shitty stream. Yeah. Is what I think. Like nobody wants to be there with a moping streamer or like a streamer who just obviously doesn't want to talk to you. Yeah. Because then it's like, well, why the fuck am I here? Yeah. Kind of thing, right? Like, why am I like giving you the time if you don't want any of my time? Or like, why do you expect us to be in your chat if all you're gonna do is just sit in front of the camera and act all cranky? Mm-hmm. So like nobody wants to be there. It's not a fun stream. It's obvious. Like it's so obvious when chat's not enjoying it. It's so obvious when the streamer's not enjoying it. The last thing you want to do is stream just because you have to, because it shouldn't be, oh, I have to stream, so I'm gonna stream even if I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's like it's this weird thing, dichotomy of, well, if this is your career, that's the thing. That's why I think making it a career is super dangerous, because to go on what you just said, to make consistently good stuff, I think you need to do it whenever you want to, if you are motivated. And if the answer is, if I don't have a schedule, I wouldn't stream. If that's your answer, you shouldn't. This isn't your thing anyways, right? And that's not a bad thing, but it's just very telling of if you didn't have a schedule, would you stream? Someone said you don't have to stream for the next month, and your subs wouldn't care, your viewers wouldn't care, they're completely fine with it. Would you do it? And if you decide that, nah, I'm gonna take a break and just not stream, I don't think it's...
Or you're doing it as a job, not as something you enjoy.
Yeah.
I think.
And that's a really difficult thing for me to say, because I know there's people out there that take really good, meaningful breaks. Because they've went so hard at it and they got burned out, right?
I mean, burnout's also, yeah, definitely, like burnout is something you need a break from. Also, like there's a lot of people who take like, you know, mental health breaks.
Exactly.
And that, like, we totally understand, because we both have, you know, our own issues that sometimes that doesn't let us stream sometimes. Yeah. So it does make sense, and those I think are very necessary. So yeah. So we're not talking about those days.
Let me rephrase that, because I think it came out completely wrong. If that's what if that's what is needed, if someone says you don't need to stream for the next month, you don't stream, it's either streaming is not your thing, or the way you've been streaming until then was not healthy. In the style and format of the stream schedule and everything was not healthy. But it's this system where in order to get a following, you need to stream constantly. Is kind of, I don't know if it's true. It's kind of proven true in our eyes, in our experiences. But it's this, you have to do that to even retain any audience unless you're active on a different platform. Just on Twitch, this is very hard, very difficult, very rare, and a flip of a coin a lot of the times to be able, unless it's like a 10-year plan, to get that kind of quote-unquote success in a short amount of time without a schedule, without I'm gonna stream this long. It's just so hard. So I understand that, and that's how we do it. But the optimal situation, because I know that I would stream, and I would stream with Blue even if we didn't have a schedule. And we've seen streamers that don't have a schedule and they stream longer than any other streamer. Like they put out really, really good content. And it's when you add this whole business side to it, which is inevitable, I get it, but when you add that, it does, especially for people that aren't getting paid to do it. For example, people that are like the smaller streamers, like us, it's hard to keep that motivation, because where does the motivation come from unless you're getting paid somewhere else? And money is to be able to survive every month is very important. So there are moments when you just don't want to stream and stuff like that, and that's when I realize, it's inevitable right now, but we're doing this wrong. We're doing because I shouldn't feel that way, because I want to stream, and that's what I wanted to do all the time. The first couple months when none of this really, we didn't know if this was going to be a thing or not. It wasn't set in stone. It was like I wanted to stream like all the time, and so it was something that I wanted to do. And right now we've slowly been able to come back in the past few months to come back to that mindset. And I love streaming. I want to stream. I wouldn't do the lockdown if I didn't want to stream.
Yeah.
Or the Bloodborne 22-hour stuff if I didn't want to stream. Also, I wouldn't be streaming the games that we stream right now if I didn't want streaming, because I don't think we would be playing The Walking Dead in 2020 if that's what we all cared about. Of like, what's the best game, or like whatever. Maybe like Ghost of Tsushima, but like Final Fantasy 9 was like, timing wise, it was like its birthday and whatnot, which we totally didn't know when we started. But yeah, like Walking Dead and like To the Moon and stuff like that. Like I don't think people would play that game if that's all to us. We really wanted to play Ghost of Tsushima purely because I think it showed on the stream that we really wanted to play that game, and Last of Us. But or like for the 2-year, we would play something that's more hot, like something that's hot, but we decided to do something that meant a lot to us, what we wanted to do. So it's hard when you and that's something that doesn't have an answer for me. Is there a better way to do it, or is it just something after the fact that people say once they succeed, do whatever you want, don't worry about it, like don't care about what's hot, just do whatever you want, blah blah blah. Is that just something after the fact that people say it once they already have a viewing like that, which is a criticism that those people usually get? But that is a healthier mindset if we can connect that to our skill and make us better as content creators, as streamers specifically, and also have a growth in our channel, then it's worth testing. And that's why I'm testing. And if it turns out to completely fail somehow, then it would be very hard to continue streaming. If I don't like it, if I don't like what I'm doing, I already work, right? I already have a stable income. Why do this if it wasn't the best thing that I've ever done? You know what I mean? Like, so I want to keep that mindset for me personally, because it's like I'm doing this at a lot less risk than you are, because I have a stable income.
think for me, a lot of times it's more like I feel bad for the people who are expecting a stream. I think that's another thing that I think about. Because I do feel bad when I cancel, because I don't want to cancel. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the streams. I'm looking forward to the streams. But of course, there are going to be days where, there's been days where I just get really bad stomach aches and I just can't sit up from bed. Or there's times when my hips give out. Or there's times when I just have an off day and I just can't deliver. Or like, I just know I'm just going to be cranky and in a bad mood. And so I have to cancel. And I do feel bad. I just like, it's not necessarily like, oh, they're going to be so sad. It's not like that. It's more like, I'm kind of almost, I don't want to disappoint people either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, the word for it.
Let them.
Yeah, I don't want to let anybody down.
I think you nailed it. You said disappoint, right?
I don't want to let people down. Even though, of course, everyone in our community is very understanding and they know everyone needs a break and everything. And, if you're not feeling well, then yeah, don't stream. And people have told me that. It's like, no, get off stream right now and go rest. And I really appreciate that kind of support, of course. It's just more like, yeah, so it's just like a tough decision. Because, like, at the same time, I don't want to let people down. But I know, like, I have to, like, question whether being live on an off day will let people down or canceling will let them down, kind of thing. I think that either way, it's not a good situation. You have to choose from two bad situations.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to choose which one's better. And that can be hard sometimes. Or there's times when I think one of us really wants to stream and the other one's having an off day, but it's a time when we both, it's a dual stream that day. So there's been times where that's been difficult too. We have to let's make sure that we are not dragging the stream down, or whoever is having an off day isn't dragging the stream down. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we need the other person to be like, oh, you're being kind of weird. Or like, you need to kind of like speak up a little bit, or you seem really bummed, or like things like that, and kind of like check ourselves. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because especially if it's something that happens very quickly, like maybe an hour before stream. You have to announce it very last minute, or if it's like something that we're gonna be streaming together, and one of us just really needs to cancel, then we have to decide, okay, are we doing a solo stream or are we just canceling the whole thing?
Yeah.
Kind of thing too. And that also is a lot of like, because we would have to change their schedule up if we do that. Like the schedule of the day, of course, and it kind of like messes everything up too.
Yeah, like because this is your income, it's just not. We knew this going in, that the style that we were gonna do it is not a fast kind of thing. Yeah. Because we want, let's just do, because it started off as something that was supposed to be enjoyable and that. So and to us, we burn out really easily when we do things wrong. We're very sensitive about burnout. I think we don't last long. Like, we can't hold it in. Like, some people can do something for a while and then get burnt out, maybe like at a certain point, and then we're like 1/4 of that, and we're like, fuck it, like we can't do it. Like this is boring, we don't like it. It's not fun, so we get burned out a lot faster, I think. So we need to think of a way that actually is fun and not just tell ourselves it's fun, because we're also very, very honest about that. And I think for us, you having it as income, when I have a stable income, this could easily be a hobby, because this could be whatever I want to do and exactly do that with no risk. But for you, you have a risk of having to do, when you see those numbers every month, I can help you out and financially if months do get bad and whatnot, but I think you're at a point where it's very not recommended.
Yeah.
Highly not recommended what you are doing right now, or the style that you're doing it in. If you had a different style and we were good at being, let's just do what gets most people, most subs, blah blah. That way, I think one thing will happen. We would get more viewers, but the people that are listening to this right now, today, wouldn't be here. And so it's a give up. It's what we're trying to do is definitely slow growth, and we both know that. So that's
But
why
I think we get
there's
less
no surprise.
burnt out as well.
Yeah.
I think trying to just go for viewers, I think it's a very easy road to burnout.
Yeah.
There's probably I think if we were doing that, I would have more off days than I do now.
But you can't if you do that. If you decide to go that route, it makes it even less possible for you to mentally, or expectation wise, to take off days.
Right. So I'm just saying, no. Like, I'm not talking about taking breaks. I'm talking about the days where I'm just super cranky on stream. I would probably be more cranky on stream.
Yeah.
Or like depressed on stream.
And I probably wouldn't be part of it either.
Yeah.
Like, I personally would not be part of that because that's not something I can do. I don't think I can physically do that. So it's just, but if it was a choice that you wanted to do, I would 100% support that. And I know that it works for other people, but it was just, I know we're taking the hard road, the road that's not, like kind of the dumb way to do it, almost. But I think we've come to a point where we're actually, where it's like, yeah, but we'll help each other out, right, kind of thing, and it works out, especially because I got the job. So it's like the growth is definitely slower, but I think what we have at the end of the day at the core is really more important. So what Matt is saying, the not wanting to go live days are probably far less than other people that have been doing this for two plus years, I think, and we're still trying to figure it out and recalibrate every day, but I think we're probably a lot more stable, especially starting in 2020. I think here with the whole schedule change and everything, although we did say not having the schedule is best, but still the schedule that we have right now works a lot better than the one before. I barely get days that I don't want to go live. I really like, I came back if I didn't physically
pass out,
physically, like literally pass out on the bed, like, as soon as I got home from the lockdown. I wanted to stream.
All right, so I have our next question is from Odie.
Yeah.
And what would you say are the fundamental differences between streaming and, let's say, just talking or hanging out with your in real life friends? The barrier between the internet and the physical world is obvious, but what would you say makes you look at it differently, if you do?
That's a super good question. First of all, I don't, for us, if we don't think about it all the time, there's a level of a monetary transaction that's at the back of our minds of, if we do good, that also means we can pay rent easier next month. And that is not something that I think about when I'm with my friends. And it doesn't mean, and I hope that doesn't come off really cold, because it is that, and not make it come off weird. It's like a business interaction to some certain extent. So
because even though you guys are our friends, you guys are subbing for our content.
Yeah. And
so we have to do our job to deliver that as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just a purely friendship. It's friends and also a business friendship as well. Or like business. There's some business expectation.
And it doesn't matter if you're a sub or if you're not a sub. You being a viewer already adds to that equation.
Yeah. It's already a professional relationship to a certain extent. And
also, another thing is, so like the fundamental difference is that you don't feel pressure when you're with your friends, right? But there's a certain amount of, I think we're trying our best to make it a less pressured kind of space. But of course there's going to be pressure because there's a camera in front of us and we don't see you guys, but you guys are watching us. So, which means that you could be on your phone. You can be on your phone eating gummy bears, not watching the screen and listening to us. And then you hear me say something, or you hear Blue say something, and you react. And all we see is boop, right? In the chat. Us, what that looks like is somebody that's watching the screen like this and then listening to everything that we have to say. Type in, and then hearing our reaction. So we have to, and then we try to react to that. So what we see and what you guys see is completely different, and we can imagine it, but I guess when we see that chat in our heads, it just
like
automatically
we have your guys' undivided attention.
Is in that moment, that is what we feel like.
Or if like people aren't commenting, there's times when I wonder, it's like, okay, are they just doing something else while they have up on a different screen or like in the back? Or was I bored? Like, am I not doing a good job today to the point they left and went somewhere else, or like did something else because I was boring?
It's really,
or like, it's like this mental game where it's like, well, they haven't said anything in a while, so maybe I'm not doing a good job today. Or like I read way too much into it, even though I think 90% of the time it's just because you guys have us up in the back and you guys are doing your own thing, which I think is totally fine, because that's how we watch streams too. But I think as a streamer, you don't see anything, right? You only see the chat. You only see what people write and what they don't write. And so it's all up to you in your imagination and how you take it. And so there's been times it's like, wait, are they just sitting there watching us on their TV? Or are they, are we doing a really good job? Are we doing a bad job? Are they bored? Are they find this entertaining? Like, it's like all these like mental like mind games kind of thing.
And to a certain degree, that actually happens with my IRL friends too, where it's like, did I say something wrong, or like and stuff like that. But I think it's the physicality of being able to see somebody, versus like, it's not a friend relationship in the sense that you can be on your phone and eat gummy bears, and we won't know that, right? And you can do that. It's completely okay. We can't do that. So, which means that it's definitely, there's a watched and watched. There's people that watch, and there's the ones that are being watched.
Yeah.
So those are like completely two different things that don't happen when you're when you're hanging out with friends. Because because one person is obviously, the streamer. So I think that's another fundamental thing, is that the balance of, when you're friends, everyone's just friends. We're just all on the same level, I guess. But when not level, but like you guys are kind of you guys can all sit at the couch, share gummy worms. There's times do the same thing.
Yeah, you guys can all do the same thing, and everything's okay.
Yeah. Versus when you stream, one side is being watched. And so
you have to make sure that you're doing what you need to do.
Which it should be. It definitely should be. And
that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's just the biggest difference is, I can, like, if I'm just hanging out with friends, I can lay on the floor and they wouldn't really think anything of it. But if I did that on stream, it wouldn't really work.
If this is a real friend relationship, then Blue would probably say 2 words in the last.
I wouldn't really talk much, because I don't know. I just don't talk very much. Even like with close friends, I do talk, but I'm very quiet. And so if it was a real friend relationship, I think I'm not. I mean, we are friends.
Like pure,
in real life friendship where we're just all sitting at a table, I'd probably do less talking. Yeah. Just because that's how I am.
And our goal is to try and like bring that. There's definitely gonna be a.
But the thing is, I do want to say, I'm not forcing myself to talk or anything. It's just naturally that's something that's developed over these 2 years, and so I'm a lot more comfortable now. But my point is, like, within real life friends, I guess I just don't have that I don't have that on switch of, when I'm on stream, I definitely have that on switch where I start talking more, I start reacting more, I'm trying to comment about the game more and stuff like that, which is naturally starting to happen without me actually having to think about it. But with friends, like, nobody's expecting me to comment on what Gray's eating, or what Gray's doing with his hands, or like things like that. Like things that you probably wouldn't, when you're hanging out with your friends, you're not expecting your friend to, like, if you guys are all playing a game together, you're not expecting your friend to comment on every single part of the game, because you're there experiencing it right next to that person, right? And you guys are probably commenting to each other through voice. So I think it's very different in a way. I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's just different. So.
Yeah, I think, true.
Yeah. All right, so here's a question from Major.
All right.
So if you guys were able to if you guys were able to send a message to yourself from 2 years ago, what would you say?
Wait.
So like, what message would you give to your future selves? Oh wait, sorry.
Which way is it? Is
no,
it
sorry,
us giving?
Hold on. Blue, if you were able to send a message to yourself, sorry, half of it was cut off. Yourself, and Gray from 2 years ago, what would you say? And Gray, what message would you give to your future self? So you said you have to say what you would say to your future. Yeah. I am saying what I would have said to us in the past 2 years before we started streaming.
Okay. I would say to the future.
Yeah. What would you tell yourself in the future?
Oh,
or what message?
Sleeping, bro? You good? I mean, I'm talking to myself.
Both of us.
You guys sleeping well?
You know I am.
2 years from now. And then you were talking to us when we first started.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like letting them know what's up, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Can
I send the band podcast to them?
That's cheating.
That would kind of sum it up. I mean, I'd probably tell myself, like, one, think about your username more. Think about what names you want to go by. Make sure, like, think about the mentality that you want to stream in, because that's very different than what we started off in, right? I think it's working a lot better. Tell them about the schedule that we have now.
There's so many things. Start with this schedule.
Yeah, start with this schedule. Play games you want to play. Talk more.
Then for me, I guess.
And then I would tell Gray to curl his hair.
There you go.
And grow a beard. And just to trust me.
Oh, and then you could also let him know about the corona thing that happened 2 years so you can get prepared. Get rid of hikikomori.
Yeah, and buy a bunch of toilet paper and masks.
That's not weird.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
I think what I would tell myself in the future, I want to ask him, like, is everything that we're thinking about, the question that I want to ask us is, everything that we've been thinking about right now true? Does it
work out?
Yeah, has everything we've been talking about, does it lead to anything? All the things that we put our thought into, things that we've been talking about in the band podcast for over 20 episodes, on a span of 2 years, does it, like, or did any of that? And if I'm listening to this podcast 2 years from now, hopefully I can listen to this again and check the answers to see, yeah, maybe that was right, that was wrong, but did anything hit? Anything that we talked about, did it hit? Anything? That's what I want to ask them, because I don't know. There's no advice, obviously, that I can give, but it's just to ask if any of the shots that we took, did it hit any of the jackpots? Did it hit anywhere? Any bullseye? I'm very curious.
I guess we'll see. All right. Here's a few questions from Glyden.
Hey.
So I know Gray saying some real Gray shit has become a meme and tradition, but have you ever secretly wished chat would forget about some of your Gray moments?
Absolutely not, man. I love all those. For me, it's like I just say dumb stuff.
Even though not in a brotherly way?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do I regret saying it? Okay. If it didn't become a meme, I would regret it. Because that's such a weird fucking thing.
That's a weird fucking thing to say.
It's a weird thing to say. And if people didn't pick up on that, I would have been sad.
I mean, there are some things I regret you saying, but yeah. That's a different topic, I think.
Yeah, that's oh wow. Now you're gonna talk to me after the podcast. Now.
Yeah.
Now it's a word.
I mean, no, you already know which ones I don't like, so.
I know a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I just don't really I mean, yeah, I say dumb stuff, but I think at the end of the day, it's people aren't. That's not what's gonna be what judges. It doesn't lead to dislike. No, and that doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't lead to because
it's just more like I'm just paranoid and I just want to be careful.
I've always been. There's moments that I had to be careful, and I regret saying some stuff the way I said it, or I'll talk to Blue like maybe I went a little too hard on that, or something like that. But it's just, yeah. Most stuff, nah, man. If everyone's having fun, I was like that in high school anyways, and we used to laugh. I was always like, I would just say some dumb shit, and then people would kind of laugh.
I mean, I think that's still
yeah,
right now with their in real life friends, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm used to it, so
Okay.
I'm just very, very used to that, being that guy.
You and your friends have a very interesting relationship where you make fun of each other and both, like, everyone says stupid shit. So.
I mean, that's pretty normal, right? Like, everyone just, especially when you're like having a drink or two or something. And because that's the thing, like, I used to drink all the time on stream. Like, I was always drunk on stream.
Yeah.
And so
that's something I actually, I'm glad you don't do anymore, actually.
I'd still love drinking.
Yeah. Like, it's totally fine that you drink. Like, I think enjoying a drink or two is totally fine. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad you don't depend on that anymore. Because I think you used to when we used to stream. Like, you always had to have one when you were streaming.
Yeah.
But you don't have to depend on that anymore. And I think that's character development.
Character development. I just realized I do better. I do better without. I say dumb things in the moment, and it might be funny for about like or two.
Yeah.
But it leads me to think that that's, if I need this, then just stop streaming. You know, like what's the point of streaming if I need to have a drink every time? Like, I think it's fine to drink on stream. I want to do a thing where that's like the thing, like. We just have drinks on stream, like that's like a thing that we
like
do.
the lounge.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, like that VC. But I don't know. I don't think we need that when I want to be someone that doesn't need that. I wasn't used to the whole idea of streaming for hours and hours, pretty much every single day, and I needed something to kind of like make it okay, make it easier for me mentally. Because the exhaustion from streaming doesn't come from talking. It doesn't come from me. For me, it doesn't come from the gameplay. It doesn't come from the chat interaction. It comes from this idea that I'm being watched
from the camera. Yeah.
It's that camera and me being watched. Because no matter, like we said, no matter what you're doing behind the camera, and no matter how many people tell us, when we have that camera towards us, and people are talking, it feels like they're staring at us, and it's that pressure. And I feel that at my normal job. Like, it could be doing the easiest thing, but just having your boss there all the time, like I'm sure some people have experiences, just having that person that's there watching you or feeling like they're watching you from your position is exhausting. And I kind of forget about that. I used to drink, but now it's just it's I think I'm a better streamer now. Like, I say probably less dumb things, but I like myself as a streamer, the way that I'm going. Yeah. I can stream longer now. That's good.
Because the reason why I say that is because I realize, like, I think I've already mentioned this to you before, but Hyphy Gray, well, it's fun in the moment, but it takes away, I thought it took a lot away from what we were actually doing.
Yeah.
And so the whole topic of stream just became, oh, Gray's drunk, he's saying stupid things. And it wasn't about our content. It was just that you were drunk.
Yeah.
Right? And, well, of course, that's very fun and stuff, but it's very temporary.
Yeah.
And then it just felt like it was like this, like, it's almost artificial, if that makes sense. It's like this artificial, like, change in the stream where we went from, like, you know, playing the game, and then all of a sudden, the more drunk you got, it just became, like, a lot of just not necessarily noise. That makes it sound really bad, because I think some of the moments of Drunk Gray, I think, was really fun.
Like, if I play Jackbox again or like a community game, I want to be drunk when I do it. Like,
yeah, for sure. And I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like in general, when we were playing like story games and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
and it's the reason why was because I wasn't playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think when you don't play the game and you don't have the controller in your hand, the idea of being watched gets even stronger. Because
I mean, I don't blame you for what you did. I think it's a very natural reaction, or very natural to go like have something as like a defense mechanism kind of thing almost.
It was bad, but it wasn't healthy, and I 100% agreed, and so I wanted to change that, and thankfully it happened.
Yeah.
So.
And now you're off your jellies too.
Yeah, I'm off the jelly. Guys, jellies addiction, okay? Don't let that consume you.
All right, so how, and all these are questions from Gliding Cell, but how did it feel interacting with that large of an audience from lockdown? Were you intimidated?
Oh, yeah, I was talking to Blue about this. Not at all, because moderation first, it was really well taken care of. I didn't want to look at the view count because I thought it was going to bother me, but I got too curious when we got onto front page, and I think we hit 6K, and then it kind of like went down from there. But get a crazy boost when you're in front page. But yeah, like I wanted to know what it felt like, because it's really rare for a streamer of our size to be on a stream of that size. So I wanted to test, and I told Blue before, I was like, this is gonna be a cool test to see how I hold up in front of a crowd like that, and also with a lot of people that I've never met before. I mean, thankfully a lot of you guys showed up, but I was prepared to just go into a chat where there's like barely any usernames that I knew. Turns out it really doesn't make that much of a difference, and again, moderation was done so well that it was very smooth. But yeah, I saw the numbers and I was like, yeah, I can still be normal, and I think I was great.
Yeah, you were.
And I think that's really, really important, and that was something that I really, really told myself, and I was like pressuring myself to do. So gotta stay normal as much as I can. And Ken made it super easy too. And when it started, and our chemistry was really, I thought it was really good. So
I thought so too. Yeah, I really enjoyed that stream, watching it.
Yeah.
And then I think moderation was pretty good, because like as soon as a troll came in, it got set to follower only chat, and then after a while they would take it off, and then as soon as another one came in, they would turn it on, and it's like it got rid of all the trolls. So it was actually really well done.
There's a part of me that kind of wanted to see like what kind of how messy it could get, but I do understand that the mods were just doing their job, really good job.
And did it change the way you thought about handling your chat, if and when you guys have a chat that big?
I think I want to, as much as I think that the moderation was done well, and it was super smooth, and like it almost felt like our normal chat, but with more viewers. I think, but if we do get to a point like that, I want to see what it's like, because I know a stream that has no moderation has over 10K viewers consistently, and it's like a mess in there, right? It is a mess in there.
Yeah, there's so many art that posted in there,
like spam. It's like spam. It's not even toxic stuff. It's just spam.
And like random links, random emojis, random penis pictures.
Yeah. But the thing is that they don't. That's not what I want. But I do want to see a chat that's kind of just a little bit kind of the chaos the internet is. But to me, the internet is, what's fun about it is, part of it is chaos. And I know that's not a popular opinion. Everybody that I talk to and stuff prefers a very clean place, but I kind of like the chaos of a little bit of it, at least. So I kind of want to keep it, if possible, if we do get to the size, to a certain amount of fun chaos. And if it needs to be modded, of course, that's something we will do with.
Yeah, I think we can do without the spam, but all the like crazy comments and stuff, I think it's fine.
Even if it's a little toxic here and there, is what I'm saying. Like, and if it's that fast and it just like blows by or something like that, then like,
whatever.
I like.
If they're having fun, then why not?
And it's not gonna affect us, and it's like, yes, we have to keep chat a clean place for chat too. So that's something that we keep in mind at all times. It's not just about us, but it's also about the people that are using that space, right? People that are typing in that space. So of course we'll keep that in consideration. But I think having chaos is a little fun, and that's probably unpopular opinion, but
yeah, a little bit.
Kind of what I like about the internet sometimes. Not the toxicity, and not bullying. Don't get me wrong, not about that. But it's like, say if I put it in a good way, cup half full way, festive. It's because when you go to some festivals in Japan, it's chaotic, but it's a good kind of chaos where it's like it's just a ton of people, got the Mikoshis going on. There's so many people, and you're just like, it's hard to get through. It's like,
some people push, some people shove, some people might get knocked down, but
nobody means anything bad. It just happened. Matsuri, and I think that's like the best kind of streamer. Everyone's having fun. Some people might not feel like they fit in, but with just kind of noise, you can just kind of come in when you want. You don't have to, but yeah, I think chaos might be a little too strong. More like festive, yeah.
Matsuri.
Yeah, and when something like that happens, some bad stuff is said here and there, but I don't think I think it's just, and I think people just say what they want because they have pent up bullshit that they have to deal with in everyday life. I always think that, like, people deal, and it's because I experienced that. People deal with shit at work or whatever they're at, school or whatnot. Doesn't give them the okay to be an asshole online. I don't believe that. But if it's just a little like burst of emotion or whatever, and it might not be the smoothest, thing, could be a little edgy, a little like on the edge. It's okay on Twitch. Again, unpopular opinion, but yeah, that's my opinion. So, answer Glyden's question, yeah, probably pretty much the same, with the but maybe a little. We wouldn't mind a little bit, yeah. That's because the thing is, we wouldn't be good at doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they handled it very well. If they can do it that well, yeah, but I don't think we can do it that well anyways. So it's gonna be a little chaotic, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Is that the last question?
Yep.
No.
That was it.
How long podcast? Did it just feel really long?
I have no idea. I haven't checked the time, so.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a longer. If this is a longer podcast, thank you guys so much for all the amazing questions this month. We'll be doing this again, so if you're a sub, if you're listening to this, go to the podcast question channel in the subs
type in your
category.
questions.
Ask us some questions. We were thinking of doing the podcast in a little bit of a different style, but we decided to hold off for a little bit longer to do that. And we'll talk about that if we do that other style. But yeah, I think this is a good way to do it. This will be, guys, the video version's up on YouTube. Audio version will be up on Spotify, Apple, all the other things. We'll listen to podcasts on. So
we'll post a link in Discord as usual. So
yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And that was the Band Podcast. And we'll see you guys next month. Take care.